People deluded. Arsenal's under-18s were defeated 1-0 by their Southampton counterparts yesterday. I believe that leaves us in 6th position. That leaves us with 4 points from four games now at this period in time, as we're trying to retain our league title, because it's important to remember we won this last year. We've got a lot of new boys, first-year scholars. The main part of the team last season are not eligible anymore. I mean, Saka's eligible still, and that's testament to how good he is, but he's not going to play at this level. Trey Coyle, Tyrese John Jules, Vontae Daly-Campbell's left, even Amici. All of these players that weren't predominantly playing at that level, but players that were called upon, or whatever, Balogun is still playing, but you get the point. They're not going to really be at this level, so it's down to Sam Greenwood, who missed out through injury, Alfie Matthews, the young Miguel Aziz, and players like Catalin, who's just joined the club, and young players like this to kind of take it on board. We've got a young squad, people, and I'm excited because there's some talented first-year scholars, and it's encouraging to see the amount of schoolboys that are getting chances this season. You saw, is it Alex Kurt? I don't know these young schoolboys like that, and don't sit here and say I do, but he started today, and he might have learnt a lot. Mon Louise, who's been called up by England's under-17s, and I know he's a schoolboy, but he's somewhat of a regular this season at this level, played at centre-half. You've seen... Is it Henry or Jeff? One of them guys there. He's got ginger hair. He fielded in defence last game, but he can play in centre mid. Eboe came off the bench. Pantino came off the bench. Two players I really like the look of. So it's moving forward. We've got some talented boys, man. Our schoolboys to become first-year scholars next year look exciting, man. And obviously there's Keon Edwards and Amari Hutchison, who haven't seen play at under-18s levels yet. But I'd be shocked if they don't get scholarships. Not that I know anything, people. But carrying on with this game, you know Southampton, they've got a very good side, people. It sounds crazy, it might sound silly, but Southampton nowadays, obviously, if you was to go, if you live in London, go to any park here. Like I'm from North, so if you go anywhere in North London and there's a talented player, obviously there's going to be Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham, Spurs, if I haven't said them, and all of these typical London clubs, Palace. But right behind them nowadays, people, is Southampton. Southampton are really scouting in London now, and I like how they scout players, and they've got some good players that they've scouted from London and closer to home and neighbouring regions, closer to Southampton. So we know what we're going to get with them. They've got a talented side. They showed a willingness to keep playing out from the back against us. They've got some technically good footballers, man. Is it Romeo Mitchell or whatever, who us, Liverpool and Spurs wanted, and United, I believe, but he opted for Southampton. He left striker to go Birmingham City. I feel we didn't really trouble them, but they didn't really trouble us. I feel I liked our initial start to it. First 10 minutes, we was getting in behind and we was doing our thing. After that, I feel we was in control of the game, and Southampton were playing second fiddle to us. But we were giving some encouragement to Southampton. They were getting down our flanks a couple of times. But I don't really think we troubled them. We played well in front of them, and there was a couple good passes in behind, but we weren't really troubling them. I don't know statistically how many shots we had. There was some clear-cut chances in the first half that I felt in particular our strikers could have taken advantage of. But I felt we were up for it. That being said, in the 15th minute, lapse in concentration, and it fell in the area to a Southampton lad. If he just picks a spot, he puts them 1-0 ahead, people, which he failed to do. Excluding that, I'd say there weren't really much in it. From an Arsenal perspective, we're having possession, but you probably want to see better connecting play of a greater impetus, of a greater standard. We need to kind of up it and try and, not I want to say force the issue, but kind of, we're doing the bare minimum at this moment. We kind of need someone to take the creative lead for the team and try and make something happen, or someone just to try and effort or whatever, because we're playing well, but you lot know it's not easy to score goals, and we need to kind of up it if we want to go out there and grab a goal, people. I feel the last 5 minutes, probably 5-10 minutes of the first half, both teams kind of ended it strongly. Southampton stopped respecting us and started to have a go. It did get a bit open. We did have a couple of opportunities. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Our keeper Herbert had to. They almost scored. Forgive me if I'm wrong. They actually almost scored, and he made a good save. I can't actually remember if this was in the first or the second half, but there were opportunities for Southampton, people. Apologies, I was eating sweets. There was opportunities for Southampton, but we weren't really troubled. I felt generally we could have done a bit better with our set pieces. We really didn't utilise our set pieces, in particular corners, in a good enough way for me personally. That being said, in the game, I'm so sure it was initially a set piece, a corner kick, sorry. Aziz and Catalin, I can never say his name, the new Romanian lad that we signed, they did very well. Felton, I believe Alfie Matthews in the area, and he's got to score that, people. There was a couple of opportunities. Our left back, Mr. Sitter, as well. We had a couple of clear-cut chances, more so in the second half, people. And the second half, to be honest with you, was more of the same, people. But you know how these games go. The more it goes on, the more you don't take advantage of opportunities, the greater the risk. In Southampton, they did have a better goal in the second half, and I do think the second half was probably a better game for the neutrals to enjoy, because both teams I felt were playing quite well, were getting things going. The young subs that came off the bench, Malcolm Iboy, when he only got a couple minutes, he couldn't do anything of significant. I felt they played quite positive. Pantino and that, they held their own in that. I feel Aziz is getting his radar on. I did feel apologies, people. I did feel his final ball could be a bit crisper, as with the whole team, people. There was a couple of opportunities, like I said, we should have taken advantage of, especially in that second half. And as the game goes on, it is what it is, people. We've kind of made their goal for them. I love that our schoolboys are playing, but this is what they've got to learn at this level. I believe it's not their fault, but initially, Alex, apologies for the noise, people. My neighbours are... Apologies, my neighbours are starting to play music. But like I said, it's nice that our schoolboys are getting football at this level. But there was a couple of opportunities with our young centre-half pairing that you could see at schoolboy level you get away with it. In the under-18s, you made to pay for a couple of times, giving away corners we didn't need to. But it's a good learning experience. I felt initially Alex Kirk made a meal of it. He could have dealt with it, but he's kind of beaten down... I can't even explain it. He's kind of beaten down not the flanks, but he shows the attacker inside way too easily, people. And it comes to nothing of sorts, and it goes to the other side. And then I believe Monlouise didn't clear it good enough. I believe even Pantino didn't put enough on a clearance. So we were kind of messing around with our clearances as a whole team. And like I said, it wasn't their faults, individual faults. This was just in the build-up to the goal. I believe the cross came in from the left-hand side. It's actually overhit, in my opinion. But one Southampton lad does very well to keep it in and pull it back across our goal for someone to tap home. Now, if that happens, there's several things that several players could be doing. We were at 6s and 7s. I'm just using them individuals to highlight a point. They weren't individually to blame, because we conceded it as a team. It sucks, obviously, because it was in the 90th minute. And this is what I like to see, especially for the young players. And if these young men are going to go on to have professional careers for Arsenal or elsewhere, these are the lessons they've got to learn. To one, to take their chances. To two, if you're not going to take your chances, game management. See that it's looking like a draw and make sure you don't come out of that without a draw. Do you get it, people? Like I said, 90th minute, focus. You've got to be able to focus when you're potentially getting tired. The hardest thing to do, people, is to keep your standards up. Everybody can play great in the first 5 minutes. Can you keep your standards up in the last 5? Can you track back when you know you're finished and your tank is on E? Can you get back? It's how you react to these sort of things, and it's a good learning curve for these guys, man. I think we didn't play badly. I don't think we've played badly in any of the games we've played this season. Of course, you would like more than 4 points from 4 games for our under-18s, as we are defending our league title. But it is what it is, man. We got lessons to learn. All we can do is look forward to next week Saturday. I believe they're playing Leicester City, so that's all they can do. Like, this is the thing now. They've got to move on. Like I said, there's lessons to be learned, and I do think there are players in the team that could have done a bit better. Like, I like Kiddo Hart-Taylor, but I do think early on, I do think he's still obviously adjusting to being a first-year scholar, but I know he's got that ability in him, people, and I want it to come out, because a couple of times when he did play last season and whatnot, and I've seen him, you're just thinking, wow, and whatnot. They're still developing, but it is what it is. And also Nathan, our right winger, he had a lovely chance in the second half. He was terrorising their defence, really. He was a man on a mission of sorts. He cut in nicely, and it was just a bit of a tame effort for the keeper to save. But this is what I'm saying. If you don't take these chances as a team, it always comes back to bite you. And these are the lessons these young men have to learn. On that note, I'm going to get out of here, man. People, like I said, sadly, Arsenal 0. Southampton's under-18s won. Congratulations to them, because they did a professional job. I felt they sat in well. I think they stuck to their team's game plan. I think they showed bravery to keep trying to play out from the back. I feel their strikers and attacking players, they worked hard off the ball. I felt when they needed to, especially the last 10 minutes of the game, they started to be a bit braver and whatnot. At the end of the day, they've made a decent trip to London, and they've walked away with 3 points, people. And for them, it's a good perspective, and there's a lot they can probably learn, but it's good for them. For us, there's lessons to be learned on the training ground. But the great thing is, in life, there's always tomorrow. So on that note, people, DG, I'm out. Thank you for watching and rocking as usual.